Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Michelle, thank you for your time and energy and being wonderful. To my left is Darlene. She came out to play today, and we'll hear from her in a minute or so. I just want to talk a little bit about March. I'm sorry, I turned to September. About March, some of the important days of this month. First one's got to be St. Patrick's Day on the 17th. Celebrate or not, everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. And what we always do, there's a group of us who get together at the new moon and at the full moon, and it sets a really nice intent for the couple of weeks that follow. So the new moon and the spring equinox will be on March 20th, which is 8 days from today. Aries begins on the 21st of March. March is an interesting month, and it's kind of special to me, and I just found out to Darlene. My dad's birthday was March 8th, and when was yours?
The 26th.
The 26th. Somebody else is the 26th. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm sure there are other people that are 26th. And I get real contemplative about my dad during this month because of his birthday. He was an artist, and he died many, many years ago. Both my sister and I have artistic talent. I pursue mine, she doesn't. But she plays guitar, she plays music, and she has one of the most beautiful voices that you've ever heard. In fact, in the 60s, we used to have a folk group.
Really?
Yeah, and it was lots of fun.
Well, that's pursuing her art.
Yeah, oh yeah, and she plays Italian music every other week with an Italian group. And I attribute all our creativity and all our talent to the fact that we are Italian.
You're Italian. And
that makes us great. Yeah, it goes with the genetics. But whenever I sit and draw, I remember my dad fondly, even though I was like 4.5 when he died, because he would do his artwork, do realism. Well, you've seen his drawings and his paintings. And I always drew in geometric forms, even then. And he was the only person who didn't say, what is that supposed to be? He would just talk to me about color and form and the things that were important to me.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You just got it then, huh?
Yeah, because it was just there. And now, I just close my eyes and draw. It sounds silly to say that, but I do. So I close my eyes, I see a picture. To our left over here is our nephew. He's actually our third cousin, but nephew is much easier. He drew this. He's 15, Liz? Yeah, he was just 15 the other day.
Wow.
He's going to enter this in our art contest. But he and his two brothers, one younger, one older, would sit at the table and draw with me when I was doing the calendar and putting them together, and I let each one of them choose the month of their birth month. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they got it too. And
that's amazing.
Isn't that wonderful? He's 15. 15.
Yeah, he's an artist.
Yes, he is. I think he is.
DNA.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, the Italian DNA.
Yes. He's only half Italian. No, he's not. He's a quarter Italian. Whatever it is, it's there. Okay. So,
that's incredible.
Yeah. He was going to come on today, but he had to go to the orthodontist. How rude. He had to go get his teeth taken care of.
What's up with that?
I know. He'll probably
needs a smile.
Oh, and he's got a great smile. He's got a great smile. So that's what March means to me. March is a very special month.
It is. That equinox is amazing.
Yep.
It's a time of balance. Yes.
God, we know that we need balance. We need balance. Now, I'm going to have you say this because I couldn't say it last time either.
You can have me say it? No,
yes, I am.
Really, I'm Mala Hadial.
That's close enough. That's the angel for the month of March. And the angel for Pisces is Bacchao. It's real close to Bacchanal, so it must be a good time to gorge. I'm never sure. All right, so that's my thing with March. I don't think I have to read any of this to you. It's a water sign. They usually have problems with their feet and toes. They're very compassionate people. Their key phrase is "I believe." I wonder if a Pisces wrote that song. Remember, "I believe"? I believe for every drop of rain. I'm sorry, I go off on these tangents. Lucky numbers, if anybody's playing Keno or the Lotto, 2 and 6. Lucky day is Friday, and the colors are pale green and turquoise, very watery, as we know.
That's for March? That's for Aries? That's Pisces.
It's March.
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 Well, isn't March a half Pisces, half Aries?
Well, it's
Or not?
2/3 Pisces. The last 10 days is Aries. So it's not officially Aries yet.
Right.
So this is our print. Am I good? This is our print for March, and it's consideration. And most Pisces are quite considerate.
Really?
Yeah,
They're brilliant people.
I think
They're
so
very
too.
brilliant. So in your calendar here, it actually has a full description of Pisces.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You want to read it?
I would read it. It's for all the Pisces out there.
Okay.
They'd feel really good hearing this, I think.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and read it?
Thinking they would.
You go ahead and read it right there.
All right. So Pisces are filled with subtleties. You see us and and bubble with passions and emotions. Your deep degree of sympathy and understanding make you quite compassionate, but can also draw you into unpredictable situations with unbalanced people. That's very true for Pisces. You are impressionable, indecisive, uncertain, imaginative, very romantic, and self-sacrificing. Your poetic mind is intuitive, sensory, and dedicated. Deeply sensitive and easily wounded. You have a tendency to be highly susceptible to alcohol and drugs. Very true about Pisces. You are shy, timid, and very changeable. You do many things.
Prompted.
Yes, prompted by your sense of guilt. Your need for approval can keep you going around in circles, and your color idea of loyalty. No, that wasn't
No, you're right. And color
yeah.
your idea of loyalty.
Okay. Your mystical spiritual nature requires great amounts of solitude to develop properly. The hardest lesson for a Pisces is to learn to consider their own timidity, conquer their own timidity and self-doubt. In matters of love, you are sensual or mystical, overgiving, tender, doting. The sign governs dreams and mysticism. Pisces natives should trust their accurate intuitions and feelings, and they tend to seek more spiritual value in life. Polarity, the opposite Pisces on the zodiac wheel is Virgo. This is a sign of work and service. Virgo natives deal in facts, reality, practicality as they strive for material success. I could just see those two together. I really can't. Pisces is two fishes tied to one another, swimming in the opposite directions. This signifies hidden depths, shifting emotion currents, conflicting desires, and extremes of temperament.
Sound like any of the Pisces you know?
Yeah, I was married to a Pisces for far too long. And now I get it.
Finally, after all these years.
After all these years, no wonder he's no longer my husband.
After all these years of a divorce, you understand.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
what a great calendar.
Thank you. Thank you. I've always enjoyed doing it. Oh, I know, and I'll read the review. This is from one of the first calendars I did in 1997. So this has to be 97, 98. This was in one of our local spiritual publications, in Light Times.
Love in Light Times.
And it's, well, I can't see. Is that on? Okay. And it was in the book section, and it's the unique calendar, Lift Your Spirit Art from Marie. What makes this calendar unique are the geometric symbols found at the beginning of each month. Geometry is a fascinating form of communication, as each geometric symbol emits its own type of energy and teaching. Within the shapes and patterns, there resides a message that your soul recognizes with complete understanding. Along with the beautifully designed and colorful geometric shapes, Marie has incorporated the 12 signs of the zodiac, thus covering basic astrology. According to Marie, this calendar lifts your spirit. Daily time and quiet contemplation with the print can bring about a period of mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual upliftment, adjustment, and growth.
That's awesome.
There is no greater satisfaction when one can share with others the love of their being. Yeah. Lift Your Spirit Art is such an endeavor. This delightful calendar will ignite within your soul the true wisdom and knowledge that has been passed down through the centuries. Lift Your Spirit Art is no ordinary calendar No, hell, I forgot this. Nor is the artist who created it, Marie Covello. And she had ordering information here, which I have never said on air. Our calendars are $20 plus postage, and you can order them through Michelle at the website. You can order them through me. I'm not real technical, so I do phone 702-878-0239, or you can actually order them from Darlene, who's very technical, and she'll give you that information because I don't know what it is, okay?
Well, this is excellent. So you have been doing these calendars since 1997?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. What inspired you? I know you said that you've been doing your art since you were very young.
Yes.
Right? But what inspired you to then take it to the next level?
Well, I was working in California, and my sister called me and said, you gotta come home and help me take care of Mom. And I said, oh, okay. So I did. And the only thing that kept me from cutting my throat and my wrists was sitting and drawing every day, which I did anyway. Mm-hmm. But you know, she had needs which I had to attend to, and I had to be on time to take her to bingo at 6 a.m. for the 6 a.m. session. And so then you had to pick her. But I used to cook and do all that. And then my wonderful aunts would come over and play cards with her, and I would have my private time. And I never showed anybody anything I did my whole life, except my dad.
Wow.
And every once in a while, my sister. But you know, as far as showing anybody what I did, that was just not in my program.
Right.
But with so little privacy and having to do so much, well, you were over the house, so there's prints all over the place.
Right.
And so my aunts actually started seeing them, and they would say, oh, that's really pretty, what's that? And I said, well, what do you think it is? And they'd give me this whole description. And these are older Italian ladies, you know, and it used to be so cute to just listen to them. And then one would say, no, I don't like that one, I like this one better. And so I was getting comfortable with letting people see my work, and it was okay if they liked it, and it was okay if they didn't.
Right.
It keeps me balanced, it keeps me centered, and it keeps me from hurting myself and others. It keeps me happy. So,
and it's something that it's been kind of just guided through you.
Yes.
Like you were telling me the other day, this is art that's moving through me. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And so each one, as you were drawing them, then had a meaning behind it. Like this one right here is New Beginning. But so as you were doing it, you were getting this feeling.
Sometimes it comes while I'm working on it, and sometimes it's after the fact when it's done. And you know, I just sit and look at them because they draw me in. You know, because sacred geometry. Oh, and I just David sent me a book today on sacred geometry, so I can actually know what these symbols mean. Ah. Because I have no clue. I mean, I just see them and draw them. That was the book he said to expect. So I called him and told him it was here. He said, well, open it, it's yours. Oh, thanks.
So maybe you could explain, though, to the audience that may not understand what sacred geometry is.
Okay, it is one of the oldest languages on the planet. Pythagoras, in 1,000,000 years ago, however long ago that was. And then there's, he's the one who brought it to the forefront. Fibonacci, and I didn't know any of this when I drew, and I didn't know what it was called or what it did.
They probably lived back there when they did. And
just probably. Makes sense to me.
Probably his sister or something, you know.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I was always a girl though.
We've had 100,000 lifetimes. So.
Is that many?
I'm sure.
No wonder I'm tired. But it was, you know, it's just the way I've always seen things. And
so sacred geometry then is something that came from Pythagoras and
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci is the Fibonacci scale, and there's all different forms, and they ascribe different meanings to the different forms. Now I'll actually know what the things are. But one of the first trade shows I worked, I had set up everything, and I was sitting at my little table, and some lady came running over, and she said, "Is this your work?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Tell me what you know about sacred geometry." And I looked at her with this big question mark on my face and said, "Nothing." She said, "But this is what you do. This is your work." I said, seriously? I mean, I said, then you need to come in here, sit down, and tell me what you know about sacred geometry. And so she started, well, you know, truth is truth.
Right.
I didn't know it had a name. And so she told me what she knew, and then I started looking it up, and I thought it was pretty cool. Because the wonderful thing about the forms is you look at them, they talk to you, they call to you, they let you know which ones are for you. They choose you, you don't choose them. It's really interesting and intriguing to watch, because people will come up, and a friend came over the house, I had stuff on the table. I'm always working on the table. And there's this print about this big. He said, I have to have that, I need to buy that right now. I said, oh, okay. He said, I didn't ask you if it was for sale because I didn't want you to tell me it wasn't. But I mean, they just talk to you.
Right. Right, like you gave me those stickers, right? And I picked them up today on my way over here, and you said I could put it on my body or put it on something, and so I did that. I looked at all of them, and I kind of just felt, and this one right here just jumped out at me, and I went, well, that's amazing, and then I put it on my jewelry.
It looks so
that
great.
is right, and the thing is that it was the feel of the colors and everything. And the movement of them, they absolutely make you feel.
They do.
And it calmed me. It was like, oh, chill. It's nice, very nice. But it's interesting. I don't know that much about sacred geometry either. I wish I did.
Well, I'll lend you my book now.
Okay.
Now that I have one. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, while we're having this show, is this one of your first shows? I'm your fourth show.
Fourth.
And do people really know who you are? Because you're pretty damn fascinating.
As far as I know, they do. I look every once in a while or my cousins will call and say, you got this many comments. I go, okay, thank you. Yeah, because it's, you know, I'm just not technical.
Right, but you have a background of being a PR person, pretty much, right?
PR, promotion, worked in entertainment for 30 years. Worked in travel for 10, so I'm extremely well traveled.
Right, and extremely well, you've worked with a lot of really amazing people.
Oh, yes, I have. Yes,
right.
I have.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because, I mean, you know, what I find interesting is that all of us have so many lives in one life, or we can, you know. I mean, some people just have the same life almost the entire time, but then there's some of us, what I would call older souls, that we have a lot of different lives in one life, and you have...
This lifetime, I worked in live TV and movie production on and off for many years. I worked in that business here when Las Vegas was the Las Vegas I knew and loved. It was very different.
The good old boys.
Yep, very different from what it is now. Your whole life was comped. You never paid for. Well, it's true. You never. If you lived here, it was all a big family. When my grandfather was the first one to come here in 1945, we came out in 1948 after my dad died, and the population in Clark County, not Las Vegas, Clark County. Take a guess.
1945.
48.
48. 5,000.
Oh, you went under.
Okay. I moved here in 79. There was 250.
Yeah.
Right?
It was 10,000.
10,000, yeah, was my first thought. See, listen to your intuition.
Always listen
yes,
to your
always listen to
10,000 in the entire county. Now there's that many people who live on my block.
Right.
And that was the old Las Vegas of the Rat Pack and the big stars, and I had worked for most of them in the past and had a great time. I was treated well by most of them, and if I wasn't, I never worked for them again.
And were you pretty psychic and intuitive? And
Always. It's a genetic gift.
You think? Genetic? Really?
Oh, absolutely.
You don't think you're like an old soul, and that's why?
Could be, I don't know.
I mean, I know your sister is pretty much like you. She's pretty psychic, pretty intuitive, very much a healer, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Our grandmother was extremely intuitive. Now, she's from Sicily, and our dad was from Calabria. Yeah, we're Sicilian and Calabrese. Very stubborn people, but great cooks.
An artist.
And artists. And supposedly in Calabria, they have the largest grouping of Wicca people on the planet.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. That's something the family never talked about.
Wow. A lot of white magic and
Yes.
the Italians.
Yeah. And even now, you know, I still do everything naturally. If I take a pill, like a prescription, it's like because I'm dead. And I have to
come back to life.
But
I got things to do.
Yeah.
I gotta come back.
But we have natural.
Have you ever had a death experience?
I almost died when I was 17. I was in a car accident, which broke my pelvis in 7 places, and I was paralyzed for 3 months. 3 months, 4 months, 2 months. It was a while. And I'm one of those people they said would never walk again. And
I got things to do. I gotta walk.
Well, I can't. I'm not going to curse on camera, but I told this.
Good word.
I told this specialist in New York that he was basically full of crap.
Right.
And our family doctor said, "You're right. You know you can do it," because he just knew. Our family used to play cards every Friday night, and the doctor used to come over, and a guy they called Jack the Oil Man who delivered oil, and they would play cards all night. Cranky cards, ripping cards up, just Italian. So he knew me all my life. Anyway, when they told me I was never going to walk again, I said, you know, if I'm not going to be a cripple. I'm not going to do this.
Right. No, I don't want.
No.
Got a long life ahead. You can't do
Yeah.
that, right?
And when our doctor said, he said, "Now, Marie, when you find out you have feeling and you can move, please don't do it. Wait until there's somebody to help you." I thought, okay. And he knew full well as soon as he left, I was going to try moving. And so he left, and then about 20 minutes later, his head peeks around the door. "How's it going? Are they moving?" And I said, He just waved me because he knew me. He knew me. And then after I had feeling I could walk and everything, well, limp, because my left leg is 3/4 of an inch shorter than the other. The wonderful doctor, specialist from New York told me that I would always have that limp. So when I straightened out my walk, and now I don't limp. I'm sure it's grown back to its right size. I don't know, but I don't limp.
Very interesting. Interesting when they tell us and we don't accept
Oh
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So when I could walk like a regular person, I took the bus to New York because we lived in New Jersey at the time. Took the bus to New York, went to his office, went in, and the nurse said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go in and see the doctor." She said, "He has a patient." I said, "I don't care, lady, I'm going in." And I went in. She tried to stop me. She knew better, stayed out of my way. And I opened the door, and he was there with the patient. The older lady was sitting there, and he was talking to her, I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." I said, "Do you remember me?" I asked him, and he said, "Well, you look familiar." I said, "Well, you know, I'm one of those people you said would be paralyzed my whole life, and when I actually got up and walked, you told me I was going to have this limp the rest of my life." And I said, "Let me show you how right you are." And I did pirouettes around his office and around him. And I looked at the lady and I said, "If you value your bone health, get the hell out of here now." And she did. She left.
Oh, that's funny. That's.
You know,
I know.
there are people you can tell that kind of stuff to, and they'll believe you, and they will be crippled.
Right, yeah, definitely. Like it's the power of suggestion.
Yeah,
for sure.
But you know, it was just if I was going to stay, you know, because I was deciding if I was going to stay or go. Well, because I was in a coma for 3 weeks too. If I was going to stay, I wasn't going to be incapacitated.
So that was like your first initiation challenge, really, in life. Of how far can my soul move beyond the physical? Well, no, you had one before that.
I had a few before that. You know, because we're from a big Italian family, first generation American, Italian first language, 9 on my mom's side, 8 on my dad's side.
They love to make love, don't they? Sorry. No TV, let's have babies. Yes.
Do what?
Let's talk about the cards.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We're two
Family
Geminis
time
born
is
on
over.
the same day. We could get carried away.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about these cards.
Okay, before we talk about the cards,
Yes.
let me do this. Would you, I'll do this. This is from Lois in San Francisco, the person who sent down, she's my teacher friend. She finally sent some of the prints that pictures that her kids drew. Dear Marie, thanks once again for your amazing calendar. I remember your first one about 18 or 19 years ago, and when I sat in your kitchen for hours looking at each geometric symbol drawing and feeling the energy and the messages jumping out at me, what a spiritual experience. Each year I look forward to having the same experience. I'm just getting into your new spirit art. I have always shown your calendars to the children I teach, but I like the way you set up this new approach. I have already exposed the class of 4th graders to your geometric symbols. As you know, I only now substitute teach, but at this school I have taught most of the 4th graders in the past. There are several children who are special ed, several are hyperactive, and a few that are discipline problem children. I'm enclosing the results of how I felt your symbolic art affected and helped these children, and she has comments in each one of the drawings. Best to you always, love. P.S. The children became very quiet when they started coloring. Nice. Some picked out all the colors they were going to use and laid them out. Kids usually don't do this.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Isn't that, yeah, because I sent the drawings and then they got to color them. And this is from Melvin. He's a good kid who works hard. Can you see that one? Up higher? Okay. So that's one of her kids.
These are 4th graders.
Anywhere from, yeah.
That's beautiful.
This is from, can you say, is it on? Okay. Araceli, a very nice girl, does well in school, very quiet.
I can tell by her light coloring, right?
Now look at this one, same picture.
Uh-huh.
Same picture, different
Right.
kid. This is Jonathan. Tries hard most of the time, is a good child. She doesn't know him that well. Which way? Oh, can you get them both on?
Turn them around, the other way. Yes. Oh, hello. I didn't know if you could see through that. I didn't know we were seeing. There we go.
I don't know. So anyway, 2 different kids, different interpretation.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's what it's all about. And
Same thing with these two.
Yeah, because I only sent them four blanks. So you got this one. This from Ashley. Nice child, has to work to keep up, so she has a difficult time. Nice quiet child. Okay.
We've got a pattern going on with these quiet children.
Yes. Now look at this one.
The
Same,
lightness in their
same
color,
print.
how light they color both
Same
of them.
print. Look at that.
Wow. This one colors outside the box for sure. Marco does.
And this one does his own frame on the box. He's special ed, can't sit still, fights life, very angry. This art told me about him, insight.
Right. Yeah.
And then on the back he drew his own. I don't know if you can see through it, but is that
It's
good?
a little scary. It looks like he's holding a machine gun.
Well, he's not. The guy has to be frustrated if he can't express himself properly.
Right.
So I mean, you know, yeah, Marco, we'll send you some love.
Definitely.
Okay, then I want to get them all to.
He's actually really creative. That's probably why he's freaking out, because he's in public school. He's even got a little skateboard running down the side there.
Yeah.
So what we have to say about Marco, very creative. You're
Very
coloring
creative.
outside the box.
And
you need to be with more intelligent people.
Well, you know, and most people probably just don't understand the kid.
Right.
You know. Okay, then these are two the same.
Great colors too.
This is from Alex, and this one is from Tanya. Alex, at times he can act out. He became very calm when he started coloring. Isn't that nice to hear?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it touches your heart. And Tanya, she's a good student and a quiet child. Same print.
Ah, same print.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? And this one interested me too. No, we already did that one. This one. This is the only one of this one. On this side we have Joshua. Call me and I will tell you what to write on this one. I called her and I forgot to ask her. I've known him since he was 3 years old. Now look at how sketchy he did what was there. Okay? I'm going to turn this around, and he did his own drawing on the back.
And he's 3. He's got all these.
She's known him since he was 3.
Oh, known him since he was 3.
He was 3, so he's got to be like 6 now,
Right,
6 or 7.
right. Interesting.
Yeah. Look at, he's got, to me that's a cat, and he's got all these little beings. Interesting stuff. And I just think that, and as she has told me before in the past, when she shows them any of my prints, the first thing they want to do is draw in color. And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That, you know, that it's just that inspirational. But this kid I think has potential. I think.
As a
Creative
cartoonist.
potential, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at them, how many different faces he put in there.
Yeah.
God bless him. I can't do that. All right, Joshua.
So can people maybe purchase these?
Yes.
Like, you know, just the blank art like that?
Yes,
So they could
yes.
give it to their children or their children, their
yes.
classes?
I've got them divided in two sets of 4 right now. I only did 8. So we're doing a contest because when they do, when they get the 4, there's also a blank in there with a draw your own picture. And they'll return the one that they draw themselves, and that goes in to whatever the contest we're having, and it'll be included in one of the future books.
So can we talk about the contest?
Yeah, we can talk about the contest.
Yeah,
to get the 4 blanks, it's $15. It pays your entry fee. What'd I do? 2 minutes.
Excusez-moi.
2 minutes. Okay, we got 2 minutes.
Oh.
Oh, already? Bye.
Well, we're on the net, don't we? Have plenty of time.
You got me babbling
Excuse
about
me.
my Italian family.
Well, it's important to know who you are.
Well, I know who I
You've
am.
been on this planet many years. I know you know who you are, silly girl. So in closing.
In closing, we have all kinds of little articles and stuff. We have keychains.
Those are cool.
We have magnets.
And they carry their own energy. So
Absolutely.
to have that on your keychain would bring about a kind of a energy, whatever that is. I think, and probably, as I'm hearing you, what it is for you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
What it is
exactly.
for the holder.
Now, the last show we were on
Hard to lose your key.
brought an email from a guy we've known for, again, 40 years. Everybody on the planet we've known for 40 years. And he talked about how when he came, in December he got the calendar and he got stickers. I gave him a whole sheet of stickers. And when he put it on the passenger seat of his truck and keeps the calendar in there too. And he hadn't spoken to his son in about 6 weeks, and it was December, so it was a slow money month. Next day, he called. His son called him, explained why they hadn't been out of touch. People paid him that hadn't paid him in months.
Wow.
He had extra money in his bank account.
Which one did he take?
He has all of them, but the one he carries is not this one. I'll tell you the one he carries.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Energetically, it just shifted him.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. Well, you know, he's into all this stuff too, and he plays piano as well. Organ.
So people could buy these like as a birthday card, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Or as, hi, how
Oh,
are
these
you?
are
I love you.
great.
Yeah.
so inside these cards, there are sayings,
Uh-huh.
which are very cool.
Yeah.
Learn to work with and honor the cycles of the moon. I'm reading July. By being in synchronicity with the natural ebb and flow of cosmic energies, we are better able to use our time and energy to obtain the greatest results. Honor.
However, that's not.
However,
That's not July for this month. I
Oh.
haven't done the cards yet. I mean, for this year. These are just cards that I have lying around. They're from prior years. You know, that's okay. Big deal.
it's okay.
Yeah,
I don't have the year on it.
it's true.
T-shirts.
We do shirts. Michelle, I think this one's yours. Is that okay?
Okay.
It wanted to come, and I listened. So,
That is beautiful.
and he pretty. He was a cover of a calendar one year. I had already drawn the picture itself, the what I call an Inca drawing, and then an acquaintance had a crystal skull from Mexico, and we met Pancho.
Wow.
And we put Pancho in the middle of it, and it was the cover of the calendar.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so we have all kinds of things. So I can do a product list, put it on the
On your website.
on my website. I don't have one. I don't have
Soon to be
one.
here.
Soon to be here. Had nothing to do with me. Thank you very much. I guess we're done. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for being here, for tuning in. I appreciate your time and attention and energy. Thank you for coming, Darlene.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thank you. It's been delightful. And all the
Vice
regulars that you know are either out of town or out of the country, and Darlene will be here periodically from time to time, or she can be here all the time. I don't care.
Sweet.
Because the more people I have here, the less I have to talk. See, my voice is even going. Thank you very much. Have a lovely 2 weeks, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Perfect.